Okay, welcome back. This next talk is about protein, a macronutrient. Never ever feel embarrassed to ask any questions at any time. Use the wall or write to us. A lot of people don't know what proteins are. It's no biggie, okay? It's not a biggie at all. The more you ask, the more you're educated, and the more empowered you are to do with any issue. And you can then obviously take this further on after you've left us. So, Joey, what is a protein?
So, a protein is a food source, or it's a macronutrient that our diet requires in order for our bodies to rebuild and repair any muscle damage that we've caused through training, and yeah, it helps your recovery time.
So, for example, we say to you must eat protein after training, and you must eat within a certain time of training. Different models for different things. Some people say you've got a 20-minute window to eat food after you train, and some people say you've got up to an hour. So all we try and say to you is eat as quickly as you can after training to stop you going into a catabolic state. Basically, it's where you start eating to your own muscle mass, and you
so, yeah, I'm just going to interrupt. So, throughout the plan, we've included protein in each meal, and the reason for that is to keep your body in a constant state of anabolism. So you're always preventing that muscle breakdown, and your body's always repairing, it's rebuilding, it's constantly burning fat. That's kind of where we want to keep you. When we go to sleep, you're naturally going to be in a state of catabolism anyway. So catabolism holds its place in terms of hormone balance.
But we're just trying to prevent it when we can.
We don't need a lot of it.
Yeah, so it can be, if weightlifters, they would hate to be in a catabolic state, so before they go to bed, they cane a bison, almost. Bit of an exaggeration, of course, but...
Don't do that.
No, don't do that. So, Joey, what is a protein? Tell me some good protein sources.
Good protein sources. Throughout your day, you want to include different protein sources, really, so that your body's absorbing different profiles of amino acids. Amino acids are like the building blocks of a protein. So if you stick to like eggs all the way through the day, then your body's not going to get no variety. It's kind of like veg. Your body's not going to get a variety of different proteins, so your profile, your essential amino acids aren't going to be as complete as what they could be. So
They're
first and foremost,
they call it incomplete.
Yeah, first and foremost, I'll say make sure your protein sources are different. Good food sources. Eggs are brilliant. We've got our meats, so your white meats, your cod, chicken, turkey, all low in fat, very good post-workout. We got our proteins are high in fat, so we've got our salmons, mackerels, sardines, also really, really good fats. And you've got your red meats, which are also high in fat and definitely hold their place.
Something that I don't eat much of, red meat, but I do try to get some in my diet. I used to work with a nutritionist who was a vegetarian, funnily enough. I'm going to touch on the vegetarian side of it in a minute. However, she said that if she did eat meat, she would only eat game because it's wild, it runs, it's natural, it's not farmed, it's amazing. So she said if she had to eat one meat source, it would be deer, venison. So discount that, try new things. It's always worth trying new things. But basically, it's a bit like your vegetables, like you said, you're looking for a colourful spectrum so you can get different amino acids into your system to be as complete as you can. So, next question probably leads on to it. Vegetarians, good protein sources for vegetarians. We are both not vegetarians. So, we have an interview later on with a vegetarian who's going to give us some really good information, but we can give you some basic stuff. So, good vegetarian sources of protein are things like your nuts, your seeds, your eggs unless you're vegan. Yogurt is amazing because it's low in fat but really high in protein. Things like peas. Green peas carry so much protein in this, nothing is one thing. So every time you've got something on your plate, it's going to contain carbohydrates, it's going to contain protein, fibre, certain amounts of fat. So remember that nothing is one thing, but you can obviously get better, higher surges of protein from certain things. Pulses,
yeah.
Lentils,
tofu,
corn, cheese.
So the thing I want to point out about the vegetarian protein diet, as I mentioned earlier, there are 9 essential amino acids, and the reason they're essential is because our body doesn't provide them naturally, so we need to make sure we get that in from our diet. When we come to a vegetarian diet, there's a limited number of sources that are kind of classed as a complete protein. So when you are eating vegetarian, sometimes it's good to mix and match your proteins so that you're hitting all those profiles, all those amino acids.
It's harder for you. It's doable, but it's harder for you.
A good example is the protein in beans is incomplete, but if you have that with rice, the protein in rice completes it. Rice is classed as a carbohydrate, but it does contain a little bit of protein, and that certain amino acid completes the proteins of the pulses. That's just an example.
Quinoa would be another good one as well, because even though quinoa is quite high in carbs, it's the mother grain, and the protein is amazing. So if you're really, really struggling, that's a fantastic post-workout, because it's got high in protein, high in carbs.
What we're trying to say is there's always a way.
Yeah.
Always.
Well, there's a will, there's a way. So, what's the best protein to eat for weight loss? You still want to get varied protein sources. Turkey, as we said, all the low-fat ones are really, really good.
The low-fat ones, definitely.
But again, if you're having turkey for breakfast, you don't want it for lunch, you don't want it for dinner. So you need to just make sure it's varied.
Maybe not the dairy protein sources, so like your cottage cheese, your Greek yogurt. They're good, but don't dominate with them, because a lot of people actually struggle to digest dairy, even though it tastes great up here. Your stomach, sometimes you get indigestion. You might feel a little bit bloated. Lactose
Intolerant.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't even know, because it doesn't cause you huge issues. It just could be wind or swelling. You may not even be aware of it. If you went through a period of not having it, you would feel a lot better. Also, if you are a mucus sufferer, so if you're like a Gilbert guzzler, I don't even know what Gilbert guzzler is, I'm nearly ruined this video. So if you're a Gilbert guzzler and you've got loads of snot, get rid of lactose, get rid of dairy, and you will feel amazing after about 10 days.
Brilliant. Thanks for that.
Okay, we're done.